Hello everyone and welcome to our channel We Are Techies, and this is the part 2 of React.js interview series. So let's have a quick recap of part 1. So in part 1 we discussed what introduction questions a candidate can expect in a React.js interview. We discussed few React.js core features like virtual DOM, error boundary, code splitting, how virtual DOM works, what is diffing algorithm in virtual DOM, what is reconciliation process, what is error boundary, how to create an error boundary, how is code splitting done in React using lazy and suspense. Then we talked about few React hooks. How are hooks different from normal JS functions? Then how many React hooks are there inbuilt in React.js? We discuss use state and what questions can we expect when it comes to use state hook. Okay, and in this particular video, in this particular part, we will discuss few other hooks. So we'll start with use effect. Use effect is a hook where you can put all your side effects in. Okay, so what are side effects? Side effects are operations like data fetching, like calls to your REST APIs, subscriptions like subscriptions to any WebSocket or any other publisher, or manually changing the DOM. So what use effect does it separates out the rendering logic with all your side effects. Okay, use effect serves the same purpose as component did mount, component did update, and component will unmount in React classes. Okay, so all these three lifecycle methods, component did mount, component did update, and component will unmount of React class components, can be replaced by one single hook in functional components, which is called use effect. Okay, so but unlike component did mount or component did update, use effect doesn't block the browser from updating the screen, so it is completely asynchronous in nature, unlike component did mount or component did update, which are synchronous in nature and block the browser from updating the screen. So this makes your app feel more responsive. Okay, in any uncommon case where you want to do the synchronous way, okay, you want to block the browser from updating the screen, there's a separate hook for that, which is called use layout effect. Okay, use layout effect we'll not discuss in the video, probably in any other video we'll cover this topic. Okay, um, so use effect accepts two arguments, one function and the second one is dependency array, which is optional. Let's discuss the question that I asked related to use effect hook. This is a basic one. So in the slide, you can see two use effects, right? One with no dependency array and one with dependency array, which is containing some state. Okay. Now the question is, these three console logs in the first and the second use effect, when will they be printed? Okay. The first one is no dependency array log. When will it be printed? The second one is state updated, and the third one is the cleanup. So the cleanup one is inside a return statement, and the second one, the state updated one, is inside a use effect which has a state, and the first one, no dependency array, it is inside a use effect which has no dependency array. So let's see the answer now. So the first one will be run after every render. Okay, it reruns after every render. So if a use effect doesn't have any dependency array, it will rerun after every render. Okay, now the second one, if a use effect has some state as a dependency, it will be rerun when that state is initialized or updated. Okay, so the state updated console log will be printed when this some state is updated or initialized. Now the third one, okay, so this return statement has a console log cleanup. So this cleanup function runs only during unmount, but before every re-render when this some state is changed. Okay, so this is important. So this return statement is equivalent to component did mount of your class component. Okay, so this will be run only during unmount, but also before every re-render with the change dependency. Okay, let's discuss an advanced level question now. So what kind of comparison is done in use effect dependency array? When can it have issues? Okay. So in the previous slide, we saw this sum state is a part of dependency array, right? So how will this use effect know that this sum state has changed? So what it does a comparison between the current value and the previous value of this sum state. But how is this comparison done? That is the question in the advanced level. Okay. So this comparison is done by using Object.is comparison. Okay, so now what is dot is? So object dot is same as triple equal to operator, that is a strict equality operator, but there are few differences. There are a couple of differences actually. Uh, in the treatment of signed zeros and a not a number values. So when the zeros are signed, right, minus zero and plus zero, so triple equal to operator will always treat them equal, irrespective of the sign of the zero. But but the object dot is will treat them differently. Okay, and in not a number, it will be treated always different in case of triple equal to operator. It will always give false if you compare a not a number with a not a number. Okay, but object dot is will give them as equal. Okay. So that is the difference between triple equal to operator and object dot is, but they are almost same otherwise. Okay. Now in trying to understand this object dot is comparison, right? We have to understand primitives and structurals before that. Okay. So JavaScript has two types of data types, primitives and structurals. Okay, so primitives are total six in numbers, booleans, strings, symbols, null, and undefined. So these six are the primitives in JavaScript. S- Okay, so structures, there are two type of structures in JavaScript, objects and functions. Okay, so anything which you can use new keyword with, like object, array, map, weak map, date, or set, is considered as an object in JavaScript. Okay, so primitives are compared by value and structures are compared by reference. Very important. I'll repeat it again. Primitives are compared by value and structurals are compared by reference. Let's understand this with an example. Okay. So first example, const a equal to 1, const b equal to 1. What will print if I do a triple equal to b? True, because we are comparing values here. We are comparing two primitives here. Okay. So we are comparing values. 1 is always equal to 1. This is true. Let's take another example. Add 1 equal to an array with one element, add 2 equal to array with one. So value wise, add 1 and add 2 are equal. Okay, but these two references, add 1 and add 2, are pointing to different objects. So if I do add 1 triple equal to add 2, it will return me false, because remember, structures are compared by reference, and these two references are pointing to different objects, different arrays. Okay. Uh, let's take third example. So person is an object here which has a name property called Batman. Now const Batman equal to person. So now Batman and person, these two references are pointing to the same object name colon Batman. Okay. Now if I do object dot is person comma Batman, it will return me true, because now both the references are pointing to the same object and structures are compared by reference. Remember, so this is a true. Okay, so hope it makes it clear how the comparison is done in JavaScript in primitives and in structures. Okay, now coming back to the question, uh, uh, what is the challenges that we face in use effect comparison? Okay, so first part we covered, that object is comparison is done and how it is done. Okay, but what is the challenge? So the challenge is that Object.is will do referential and shallow equality check. Referential equality check we have already discussed. Let's discuss what is shallow equality check. Okay. So this person object here, it has two properties, name and address, but address has an object as a value. So this person object becomes a nested object which has an object within an object. In order to compare a nested object, we need to do deep comparison. Okay, shallow equality will not be able to detect any changes done in city in here. So if I change the city to from Gotham to Mumbai or San Francisco, it will not be detected by shallow comparison. So it will not be detected by use effect. So if use effect has person as a dependency and the city of the person's address has changed, use effect will not be able to detect it and it will not be called. So this is a problem. Okay, now the solution for this problem is we can use JSON.stringify person uh, as a dependency. We can use object.property, like we can use person.address directly, or we can use is equal method of Lodash, or we can use a library called deep compare effect. Okay, it depends on the situation. If only person's address is going to change, you are sure of that, you can use this object.property, or you can use is equal method also. JSON.stringify is not very recommended, but you can use if it is required, or you can use a library called deep compare. So guys, this is it for this video. I hope you liked the video, and in our upcoming video we'll cover other topics as well. So please do subscribe our channel, and thanks for watching. Thank you.